Welcome to Iconically Iconic.
Hello, babes. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new, welcome. So, in today's video, I will be doing a breakdown of episodes 9 and 10 from Sex and the City Season 3. So, let's get into it. So, the episode opens up with Miranda leaving for work and trying to avoid Steve. However, she awakens him by leaving so early. In the next scene, we fast forward to Carrie helping Aiden with his booth and continuously calls herself his booth bitch.
Whatever you say, I'm your booth bitch.
Which was such a corny joke, and you guys already know how I feel about women referring to themselves as the B word and calling other women that as well. So anyways, Carrie spots Big and Natasha, whom I've always found to be absolutely gorgeous and just so elegant. Carrie spots Big and Natasha and drops to the floor like an absolute fool, always doing the absolute most. They make small talk and Carrie calls herself Aiden's booth bitch. Again, Carrie makes an attempt to introduce Big and Natasha to Aiden. However, she accidentally spills hot coffee on him. Aiden asks, who are Big and Natasha?
Where you know that from?
Oh, from around like 100 years ago.
And she just blatantly lies to him. Instead of being upfront with him, she does what Carrie does. It's something that is just so disrespectful and completely out of line and just deceitful to me. Everyone knows you've dated this person and was deeply in love with them at one point, except for the man you're with. She had absolutely no regard for Aiden's feelings. The only person that mattered was Carrie and her feelings. Fast forward, Big is notably drunk and jealous of Aiden. He begins rambling about his marriage to Natasha. I swear, these two deserved one another. They were both full of themselves, selfish, and who used others to boost their egos. Big tells Carrie that his marriage isn't working with Natasha and that he is filing for a divorce.
It's not working. I'm getting out. If you know anyone who's interested.
Carrie acts as though she isn't interested. Yeah, right, girl. However, she was secretly happy and gloating on the inside because women like Carrie think they'll finally be the number one choice and think that they have an upper hand on the wife, but don't realize along with your low self-esteem, you will always be at the bottom of his priority list. Carrie meets with the girls for their usual lunch and tells them that Natasha and Big are getting a divorce. Trying hard to hide her excitement, the girls give their 2 cents, and Charlotte and Miranda are the only ones who find an issue with it, while Samantha makes a high school girl comment that she won.
Said you won.
Was there a contest?
Oh, please. There's always a contest with an ex. It's called Who'll Die Miserable.
What did he say?
He said, it's not working out. And then he leaned in and said, if you know anyone who's interested.
Well, you don't know anyone who's interested. He's married, Carrie. He's married.
Charlotte, I think I'm aware of that fact.
Why is he telling you?
I don't know, to save postage on his newsletter?
What are you gonna do?
I'm not gonna do anything.
Exactly what did she win? Good credit? No. Financially stable? No. Respect from Big? No. Dignity? No. Now being desperate and clingy? She'll always win that. Big also knew how desperate Carrie was when it came to him. If he knew there was no chance with her, he wouldn't have even told her. When Charlotte repeats to her that Big is married, she catches an attitude.
You don't know anyone who's interested. He's married, Carrie. He's married.
Charlotte, I think I'm aware of that fact.
Why is he telling you?
What are you gonna do?
I'm not gonna do anything.
She's not gonna do anything.
Okay, you need to take a big breath because you're starting to bug me.
And it's because she wanted to feel superior in that moment and always wanted to be coddled and babied. So I'll be skipping over Miranda's scenes because they're short and not much is going on. Charlotte is meeting with Bunny, Trey's mom, who is anything but. She's more like Satan in pearls. Charlotte is taking notes silently from Bunny on how to get what she wants from Trey, who is easily swayed. Carrie comes home to find a voicemail from Big and begins overanalyzing it, and Miranda tells her,
I've analyzed this for years and never know. I mean, they still don't know who killed Kennedy. Well, what should I do? Well, it's pretty obvious what you want to do, or you wouldn't still be listening to this message. And by the way, What happened to the not insane part of you?
And I agree completely. If she wanted someone to tell her to go and sleep with Big, she should have called Samantha. You're in a relationship and have been finished with Big, but because you're so thirsty and want to be chosen so bad, you listen to his voicemails countless amount of times as if he made a song for you and poured out his heart. Anyways, Carrie calls Big because of course she did. Big tells Carrie he will be staying in his marriage because it will be costly, and Carrie is upset. Ugh.
It's about what I said about getting out of my marriage.
I didn't know why I called. I didn't even know what I really wanted, but suddenly my heart was racing.
I thought about it. And it's going to cost me a lot. So maybe you should forget about what I said. I mean, I figure I made my bed. I should lie in it.
You do that.
How are you upset like the both of you selfish pricks aren't in relationships? So I wanted to add that Natasha was a reminder of everything Carrie wasn't, and it made her extremely insecure. She was elegant, came from wealth, and was set in her career, and Carrie didn't have any of those things. She also had Big and took Big off the market, and it didn't take a long time to do that. Later that night, Aiden and Carrie are lying down together, and he offers to make a few renovations to her apartment, which is so sweet. Aiden likes to show his love through acts of service, and Carrie didn't deserve it because she is unappreciative, and even with that, is still dwelling on the man who put her last.
Here in my arms was a guy who wanted to make my home better. And somewhere out there was a guy who wanted to pull it apart.
So I'm not including Samantha's scenes because they're not appropriate, especially with YouTube's guidelines. Trey and Charlotte are having dinner, and Charlotte uses the gestures his mother uses on him to suggest marriage. Charlotte was another one who I've always found to be so desperate when it came to marriage. Sometimes she just did the absolute most. Anyways, she tells Carrie she's engaged and is upset when she was the one so caught up and desperate that she didn't even get a real proposal. Aiden is making renovations to her home, however, she can't concentrate on her work due to all of the noise and decides to get a hotel room to work. Later on, Trey takes Charlotte to Tiffany's to get the ring that she wants. Big calls the hotel room that Carrie is staying at, which I'm not even sure how he found that out. I'm sure Aiden told him that Carrie was at a hotel, but I don't think he gave out the exact hotel because that's not safe. You don't even know who you're speaking to. Carrie meets Big, who said to meet him in the lobby but is in the bar instead. Carrie makes me want to slap some sense into her in this scene. Have some damn dignity. She's all riled up about a married man still being married.
You know, I don't have time for this. I have a boyfriend and a deadline, and you have a wife and apparently a drinking problem.
I'm not drunk.
Then what is your
You
excuse?
slow down. I can't think. I was an asshole to you on the phone the other day.
Yes.
When I said I was leaving, you didn't say anything, so I got nervous,
So, what?
I don't know.
You know, this has to stop. The flirting and the jerking me around and the calling my boyfriend. He doesn't know about you, and I don't want him to ever know about you.
Why is that?
Oh, go lay in your beige bed.
You chose to still entertain Big. He flirted and you flirted right back. What you're really upset about is that Big never took you serious enough to marry. And I honestly thought that was a smart decision because Carrie was never satisfied and always chasing happiness in someone else, not realizing she needed to look within herself. Carrie and Big sleep together, and who didn't see that coming? She rarely ever made any smart decisions. She wasn't realistic and lived in fairy tale land. She also thought that she could change Big, and that by her sticking around and tolerating all of his antics and commitment issues, and Big always coming back to her, that it meant they were soulmates. When, if we're being honest, they had just sexual chemistry in my opinion, and they barely even had that. And he knew Carrie had low self-esteem and would always be available for him, even if she were in a committed relationship. I feel like Aiden was too stable for Carrie because she liked dysfunction. She didn't like a man who really loved and cared about her. She was the kind of woman who thought going through turmoil and strife meant real true love, because if couples don't go through all of these things together, then it means they don't love one another, and that they're not meant to be together. I mean, it's evident in the Sex and the City movie after Big leaves her on the day of their wedding and she goes through it. She actually goes back to him, the same man who had her locked in a room in a major depression. Anyways, fast forward to episode 10. The ladies are celebrating Samantha moving into the condo that she purchased. They're having their usual jokes and giggles. A few hours later, Carrie is helping Samantha clean up and tells Samantha she slept with Big. And Samantha tells her that having an affair with Big is okay because he hasn't said I love you yet.
Stop. Aiden hasn't said I love you yet. Until he does, you're a free agent.
That is so childish. Samantha has a lot of problematic takes when it comes to relationships and disregarding the feelings of others. And while she is one of my favorite characters, her views on affairs disgusted me, and it's one of the reasons she got her karma when she fell in love with Richard. She felt that exact pain that the women felt when she was sleeping with their husbands. God does not like ugly. Don't do to others what you don't want done to you. Aiden is leaving town and Carrie is being extremely clingy because she can't trust herself to be alone and wants to use Aiden as a distraction. Samantha wakes up the next morning sick and can't find anyone to come tend to her. In the next scene, Charlotte and Trey are shopping at the bridal registry department at Bergdorf's. And Trey hands her a guest list along with a prenup. So Charlotte meets up with Miranda and Carrie and has Miranda look over the prenup. Miranda tells her everything looks good and it's pretty standard.
Well, this all looks pretty normal.
Charlotte wasted no time having a lawyer look over the papers.
Normal? We haven't even gotten married yet, and already we're talking about divorce.
Sweetie, a lot of people do prenups these days.
Marriage is supposed to be about love and happiness.
And the merging and protection of assets.
That is so unromantic.
And necessary. 50% of marriages end in divorce.
See, there it is again, divorce.
I'm sure you'll live happily ever after, but I gotta tell you, I wouldn't get married without one of these to protect myself.
I don't find an issue with the prenups and was always told to get one. It protects your assets and it doesn't mean you won't get anything. It just means you won't get everything. And I believe in traditional relationships because that is how I was brought up. But things happen and I'm not upset at people wanting to protect the things they've worked for, as well as their family, like Trey, who came from wealth. Carrie begins organizing her shoes to get her mind off of Big, but that doesn't last long before calling Big to discuss what happened and how it was a mistake.
Thing is, it was just a physical thing that happened. We gave in to our baser instincts, shit happens, blah, blah, blah.
And she's smoking those disgusting, stinking cigarettes again, just yuck. Carrie and Big sleep together again, and this time at her place. She really had no shame in her game.
I can smell the guy on your sheets. Wood chips and Paco Rabanne.
He doesn't wear cologne.
Maybe he should.
And by the way, there'll be no next time. This is gonna be like the bridges of Madison Avenue, a very brief affair I'll write about in sappy letters to my grandchildren.
Can I have a beard in the book version?
Aiden returns home and lets Carrie know how much he missed her. And I just wanted to add something really quick, how people like Big and Carrie are the reason their partners catch STDs and get hurt because of their disgusting, careless ways. The girls attend Trey and Charlotte's bridal party and Samantha looks so good, and Charlotte convinces Bunny to increase the amount she will receive from the divorce from $500,000 to $1 million, which I thought was fair. Hell, she should have asked for $5 million considering all she would have to endure within their marriage and dealing with his mother. Aiden and Carrie are doing a crossword puzzle when Big calls and tells Carrie to come down to talk to him or he'll be coming up. He tells her he'll be leaving his wife and she goes into her fake self-righteous spew.
I can't do this anymore. Sleep with two people at the same time. I'm gonna tell her tonight.
What? No! No, no! Married men don't just leave their... I have a man who loves me, and you have a wife who loves you.
Don't talk about him and her like it's you and me.
You have no right to do this. You can't just come back into my life and fuck it all up.
Just to turn around and continue it again. Carrie loses Pete and returns hours later and Pete is there, but Aiden asks Carrie has she been cheating on him. However, he's talking about her smoking again.
Are you cheating? I can smell the smoke on you. You're smoking again, aren't you?
Yeah.
And this was her moment to come clean. But like all coward, deceptive cheaters, she keeps the lie going because she enjoys cheating with Big because she somehow believes he's still her soulmate, but can't handle someone knowing that she's a liar and ruining the facade she puts up. And with that being said, this video has come to an end. Let me know below what episodes you would like for me to break down next. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Make sure your notification bells are turned on so that you always know when I upload. And I will catch you guys in the next one.